I'm going to give each of the panelists 60 seconds to introduce themselves. And I would like to start with Dr. Pansak. Over to you.
Good afternoon. My name is Assistant Professor Dr. Pansak Sugkraroek. I am medical wellness and anti-aging specialist, specialized in hormone therapy, anti-aging, regenerative medicine, also specialized in sexual health and fertility treatment. That is all the broad spectrum that we specialize in making people live long and healthy. I am the member of an International Society for Study of the Aging Male as a founding member in 1998. That held by World Health Organization, and that started my career to want to live long and healthy together with other people. In 2000, I joined VitalIfe Scientific Wellness Center to work in the field of wellness, tourism, also together with treatment. And be a medical director of VitalIfe Scientific Wellness Center from 2012 until 2018. Currently, I am the member of Medical Council of Thailand and the chairman of the wellness course in leadership and entrepreneurship of the National Building Institute. That is a little bit a short.
Great, thanks, Dr. Pansak. You are an icon of this industry, and we look forward to hearing about your ideas and comments during the panel. Coming up with our next panelist, I'm delighted to invite Wichit Na-Ranong, who is founder and managing director of the Slate, who has also seen the trend of health and wellness and has partnered with KRU Precision Wellness Clinic. Wichit, you have 60 seconds to introduce yourself.
Thank you, David. Savadi krab. Good afternoon, Kun David Barrett, the moderator, respected panelists, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Wichit Na-Ranong, the managing director of the Slate, a design resort located on Nayang Beach and by the National Park of Phuket. I was a founding president of Phuket Tourist Association and Thailand Tourism Council, and also the board member of Tourism Authority of Thailand. Thank you.
Thanks, Wichit. Okay, next up we have Anthony. Over to you from AJT Wellity
Good
Asia.
afternoon to everybody. Thank you, David, for having me here. I'm Anthony Jude. I've been in Thailand for the last 16 years. And in my cycle of healthcare and hospitality, I have a good mix between the hospitality industry and healthcare and wellness. I've been in this business for the last 16, and AJT Wellity is basically a company based in Singapore and Thailand, and we also do businesses around the region, focusing in Malaysia, Vietnam, China, and now very much focusing in Thailand itself due to the current pandemic. We are a full turnkey advisory and consulting and management, focusing on medical healthcare platform with hospitality, lifestyle, and senior living. Thank you very much. And I'm very happy to be here to share my knowledge.
Thanks, Anthony. Next up, we have Bruno at Movenpick BDMS Wellness Resort in Bangkok. Bruno, it's yours.
Good afternoon, everybody. David, thank you for having me on this panel. It's a great honor. I have been in the Asian hospitality industry for the past 34 years, managing resorts, business, MICE, corporate, and airport hotels from 90 villas up to 1,300 rooms. I've been involved in spa and wellness since 1999. My most important wellness exposure so far is this hotel, the Movenpick BDMS Wellness Resort, and the 6,500 square meter Zara Spa at Movenpick Resort and Spa Dead Sea in Jordan, where we won the Condé Nast UK Best Destination Spa in the World Award in 2009. Movenpick BDMS Wellness Resort is a 293-room city center garden sanctuary with large meeting and events facilities. We are connected to a state-of-the-art award-winning BDMS wellness clinic, which has 7 clinics, inclusive the regenerative clinic, musculoskeletal and sports clinic, neuroscience clinic, preventive cardiology clinic, and the digestive wellness clinic. So that's who I am, and I'm looking forward for the panel.
Thanks, Bruno. And to round up the panel, we've got Mark Vangertrop from Beacon Sky. Over to you, Mark.
Thank you for inviting me on the panel, David. It's great to be here with all our friends from the industry. I'm with Beacon Sky Hospitality. We are a consultancy firm based in Phuket and in Bangkok, helping with hospitality projects and developments. And since this year, we have joined hands together with AJT Wellity, with Anthony also on this panel, and Dr. Pansak, as we see a new niche in the hospitality business to integrate medical wellness together with hospitality management. So it's a very exciting space, and we're very pleased to evolve into this as we, together with AJT Wellity, our main focus is to convert existing resorts in Thailand into medical wellness resorts and give them a new life. So I'm very excited to be on this panel. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Stay with us. First question, will there be a change in consumer behaviour when international tourism rebounds? And will there be a greater demand for healthier holidays and medical tourism? Do you see a change in consumer behaviour?
Well, absolutely, and that's the whole reason, and probably one of the most of the interesting things that the pandemic is bringing to us in a positive note. We're seeing that the pandemic is actually a catalyst in driving people to focus more on their health and on their well-being. You know, it's not just a Thai issue; it's a global topic where everybody now is concerned about their immune system. Everybody is concerned about their age and how they're going to be able to rejuvenate their systems and themselves. And you know, you only have to open any newspaper, weekend supplement, and you will always find the topic of health and well-being being one of the main focus points of today. So without doubt, the pandemic is a catalyst to this niche and to this industry.
Great. Wichit, let's bring you on board. What's your view and how do you see the tourism landscape after the business returns, when we've got international tourism coming back to Thailand eventually? Will it change? Will there be a focus on healthier lifestyles and healthier holidays?
Certainly. I think I tend to agree with everybody. And I'm certain that, you know, the behavior will be very typical after the return of international traffic. And people will certainly be more aware of health and safety. You know, for example, they tend to avoid the overcrowded area, prefer more personal space, keep social distancing, and look for facilities that can provide good safety and standard. So this would be probably a typical behavior of all the people, even including the Thai people traveling nowadays. But you know, actually the medical tourism in Thailand have been in existence for quite some time before COVID, and Thailand is one of the top 5 countries globally that can effectively control the disease, and in conjunction with the Thai government policy to promote health and wellness segment, it will enhance the demand of the medical tourism in Thailand, of course. And in regard to this, as I'm from Phuket, I think Phuket could be one of the top choices for this activity, being a resort island with a national surrounding and high standard and very good accessibility. So this is my view after, you know, the return of the international traffic. Thank you.
And from your perspective in Phuket, do you see that there are many hotels on the island that are looking at health and wellness as a new revenue stream, particularly at the moment, because Thailand's hospitality industry is surviving on domestic? So is it just the Slate that's driving health and wellness, or do you see other hotels also looking at this trend?
Actually, this trend, you know, I've been looked from many hotelier that will be a new trend, which it exists long before the COVID, and this is part of the. I would say that this is this trend is part of the diversification, which is actually Thailand tourism based on more of the mass leisure business, which is actually it's not very healthy. But after the COVID, then probably it's a time for us to restructure and rethink, to re-diversify all the segment in order to make a good balance and then to minimize the risk. I will touch on this subject a little later when it comes to the point that I can elaborate a little bit more. So in other words, nowadays, all the people or the hotelier are aiming at health and wellness as one of the major segment in tourism. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Dr. Pansak, can you help me? What's the difference between medical wellness and holistic well-being?
Oh, thank you. Actually, by now, it's still confused between the word well-being and wellness. Well-being deal with a person, but wellness deal beyond that. So to put straight, the difference between holistic well-being and medical wellness is that holistic well-being deal with overall personal health in relation to their health status of that person. But medical wellness goes beyond that. It includes scientific way of sustainable health and correction of the defect of the illness, together with regenerative therapy for rejuvenation and anti-aging remedy to improve vitality through the vitality lifestyle medicine practice. So medical wellness need interpersonal relationship in order that one will stay in a good community and have a participation with the community people so that they will live well together with the ecosystem environment and social interaction in the positive way. So we are going to move holistic wellness of the person to be the medical wellness that impose all health of everyone in the community to live well and healthy.
And do you think people will build that into their travel plans, their holiday plans?
Yeah, you know that Thailand have been a hub of medical tourism for a long, long time. In the last 3 or 4 years, we see that the traffic changed not only to seek the medical professional treatment, but they seek the health guru to help them to live in the good health and healthy lifestyle together with correction their illness. So in the future, we are going to have that together.
Great. Anthony, let's bring you on board. What are your views about medical wellness and holistic well-being and how we can embrace this into building a tourism business around this?
Thanks, David. I would do it in a very much simpler way to just explain to the audience. Yep. To me, medical wellness and holistic, it's a very big difference. As you know, wellness is always a very broad name. But to simplify and advise to people who are looking to medical wellness, they must be the conventional base of conventional medicine. Conventional medicine must be the platform in terms of putting in wellness into it. And what do I mean by that? By having a pre and post diagnostic. So for one person, knowing where he is today and where he wants to be tomorrow, and where is he going to take it further. So in terms of well-being, Pansak is very true. Well-being is basically oneself, looking at one personal lifestyle, change of lifestyle, your well-being, your physical, your work physical stress, and even right up to mindfulness. So I think that's the very big difference. And this point here is very important to your first question, David, because how the industry is going to see it differently. Because at the end of the day, if everybody is going to do the same and bake the same cake without knowing the right essence and recipe into it, every hotels and resort will be going into a price war and developing confusion to the customer because it is not defined and described clearly. So this is something that is very important for operators to know what is the main difference between medical wellness and well-being, and how do you put this together into one customer journey in your resort. So I'm very concerned about this point here.
That's interesting. So we could see doctors on discount, the way that the hotels fight over rate.
Yeah.
Wow,
you see, in my time when I was the former CEO of VitalIfe, you know, I was taught by my predecessor there, by the medical director, the group medical director, we got to be careful in what kinds of words do we use. Never use that you are the best, you are the one and only. And he always tell me, never give a discount in a hospital. Discount doesn't work in a hospital because we are not retail. So someone is going for health, someone would not want a doctor to say that, oh, you're coming for my treatment, so there's discount. Am I cutting costs in providing you the treatment? So these are all the confusion that is going to the end users. So I think it's very defined. If one is doing well and one is doing the right guidelines and protocol in their practice, whether be it in a hospital setting or a medical wellness setting, one should know that there must be always science and evidence. If that is in place, I think business monetization is the only issue that they need to really look at. And I think there's many ways to occur into it and how they could basically partner with all the affiliating hospitals and centers within Thailand, but not to go into a price war. You don't get medical checkups now like below 1,000 baht. Those days a full medical checkup would be like 20,000, 25,000. So my concern here is moving forward is people not able to define what's medical wellness and well-being, and how would they develop the programs and putting in their resort. This is my biggest concern, David.
Okay, thanks, Anthony. Bruno, you're one of the front runners and leaders in this whole industry with Movenpick BDMS Wellness Resort, an amazing facility and setup that you got over there. What do you see as the trends over the next coming years for healthcare and related tourism? Are we on the right track?
I'm supporting my thoughts with findings of various wellness publications, inclusive the very recent reports by HDL Health and Wellness and by the Global Wellness Institute. And actually, I'm also, I think, echoing Dr. Pansak and Anthony. The future is integrative wellness, which means it is medical, scientific diagnosis combined with holistic treatments addressing the results of the diagnosis. This is a very personal wellness. And it's not a one-off thing. This is a kickoff for a lifestyle change to a better, balanced life. You will keep the customer attached. You will monitor him or her with wearables, counsel them after their stay, and have a great emphasis on sleep, movement, mindfulness, healthy eating, metabolism, nature. There's a word for this already in the market. It's called assisted self-care. So I think that's the biggest thing that has been addressed before, is merging holistic with medical scientific. You need results and you need to work on those results. And it's not just one stay, it's an ongoing process. I also see a move towards extended stay options in Southeast Asia, specifically in Thailand. And this includes rehabilitation and assisted living or active living programs. There is also a change in mice. Mice will go in the direction wellness. There is actually a slogan out there called "Death to the Banquet Chair." So workshops, indoor pollution control, the air we breathe is a very big concern. Safe environments, lighting, daylight, outdoors, biking, meeting rooms, stability balls. So this calls and healthy eating, healthy coffee breaks and meals. This all comes up in the meeting and convention area as well.
Okay. I've got a quick question that I just want to slot in, as you mentioned that. What's driving the customers to stay with you? Because you've got an amazing hotel, which is the Movenpick, Accor, and then you've got this incredible hospital clinic with renowned world doctors. So are the guests choosing to stay with you because of an affinity to Movenpick and Accor? Or are they staying with you because of the attraction of these leading doctors? What's bringing your customers to you?
Okay, at the moment it's ASQ, as you all know.
Okay.
But, so the idea, actually, what we are working on right now is that there is a cooperation between a holistic wellness center in the hotel and the diagnostic wellness center at the clinic, and we are becoming the hospitality provider. I think that the hotels, the hospitality has to prepare the journeys, do the marketing, create the story about it, and and we support the medical part. The medical part and the holistic part have to work together.
Very good.
At this moment in time, we were completely driven by guests from the clinic who come for checkups, who come for treatments and so on from any corner in the world, but we are adding the holistic part to it.
Great. Wichit, can I bring you on board about what do you see as trends? You obviously see a trend because you've partnered with KRU Precision Wellness Clinic and you're always ahead of the curve in Phuket. Where do you see this trend of tourism and wellness converging once we get over this lockdown?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, David, that in the health and wellness segment have been long in existence in Thailand, and of course with the pandemic and with all the things that have now happening, health and healthcare segment will become very important segment of Thai tourism by itself. And then as part of the diversification that we cannot stay on the leisure business alone, we need to have some other diversification as we have a lesson learned in the past. And then in conjunction with a push by the government policy of this segment, demand will be higher, of course, and as well as supply side. And as Anthony or somebody there in the panelists have mentioned about the price war, which is, I think, health and wellness or the medical treatment is not a kind of a bargaining kind of activity or product. I think it's something have to be dealt with the quality, with the trust, and with the something that personalized and tailor-made and all this. So there is no compromise on the price. But then I will see the demand higher as well as the supply side. It will, of course, resulting in a shortage of professional specialists. This is always happen when you have a booming of anything. When we have a booming in tourism, we get shortage of the personnel, of the human resources at the hotel. And we, at one time, we even promote the food and beverage manager to be the general manager because we can't find a proper general manager. Likewise, if this happen, it will have that kind of situation. But if we aware of this happening, we could manage somehow in order to address the challenge. So what I can see, instead of everybody investing in the medical clinic or center of wellness everywhere, until people don't know how to choose and where to go, then we should group together and then we cooperate to make a strategic management of our own operation and manage those professional, and in order that we could address the shortage of professional and then oversupply of all the clinic and wellness center. And this can be happen if everybody thinking about the issue and like to maintain a good standard and not a price bargaining kind of activity, and also the effective use of the limited resources as well. So
very good.
I could see the, yes.
Okay, thank you, Wichit, for that, your perspective, because you come from the tourism industry as a visionary and leader of Thailand's tourism industry. Now I'd like to ask Dr. Pansak, how do you see this marriage of the medical, which you've come from, and tourism over the next few years?
I think everyone now know that for Thailand, we like be a medical hub of the people from all over the world because of our expertise of the doctor to treat a difficult case in disease and correction them. But by the way, when people seek to come to Thailand, not only they come with their family, they come with their friend, or they come with other, and they have some purpose to be relaxed here, maybe before treatment and after treatment. And that go along well with the word collaboration. You need a collaboration between the big medical center, a big wellness center, together with the hospitality sector. So that is, like Bruno said, it's like integrated wellness. It integrated everyone in every sector to work together. And in the first few years, I think the medical tourism still more than health tourism or wellness tourism. Because during this COVID era, people from all over the world who seek a medical treatment in Thailand cannot come. But now the government are open the country for them to come for treatment here. But with the gradually introduce the healthcare on the wellness side, we can incorporate the wellness treatment together with their medical journey to be well, healthy, rejuvenate, and vitality back home. So what does it will occur? I think we need the collaboration of a lot of hospitality in the hotel. They also have their own spa, but we have to change that to what we call medical spa, catering personalized, like Wichit say, so that people who have a specific disease and seek medical advice, they can do that together. And that is the good thing that Thailand is a good medical hub and health hub. And the traveling in Thailand is very good. Communication is one of the best, and other communication, telemedicine, everything is good. So if we just put this together, we can make people from other country to come here to seek both medical treatment and health wellness together.
Okay, thank you. Now, this health and wellness has been a niche. Bruno, as we're looking to target this sector, does Accor look at this general manager from Movenpick and think you're nuts, you're crazy, what are you doing? Or is there a serious market for the tourism to work with medical and tap into this opportunity? Is there an opportunity here?
I think we are a prototype or beta type here. Accor is very, very closely monitoring what we are doing here. I have been given more or less free hands, which I'm very lucky to find out how we can work together with the team of BDMS, of the BDMS Wellness Center, and our partners from the holistic side to create something new. There is huge money in there, David. Look, man, at the moment, a 5-star hotel in Bangkok makes an average rate of 150,000 baht. If you put this against the $300 million investment, there's not much there. Mm-hmm. So your revenue generated in the hotel can be maximum 40% in rooms. So you have to create some new income sources to actually make this asset viable. And going into health and wellness is definitely a way, and the big hotel companies are looking at that. They don't know how to deal with it. It's a complete foreign subject. And they have created some prototype like ours to see how can we deal with this, how can we bring it on the market internationally. Very much so. And I think that Accor is not the only company. All of us are looking at that.
Okay, I want to fire a question that Peter Gray in Australia has asked, and he said he hasn't seen any other destination promote wellness within MICE offering. Now, you're a major MICE player as a hotel in Bangkok. Mm. Do you see this trend of MICE becoming more wellness, well-being oriented? I know TCEP, the Convention Bureau, are leading the way also in trying to promote Thailand, or not trying, they are promoting Thailand as a healthy destination and experience for when international tourism comes back. Is it an opportunity?
Okay. I think the trend has started in the US and it's getting bigger and bigger there. And what starts there normally covers after 2 years the world, inclusive Asia. I think this trend is there. I mean, locked in a dark room with bad lighting is not good for a meeting. You need to have that wellness approach. You need to have something that is sort of motivating that a speaker or a brainstorming session. We have started 2 years ago with doing specialized food, like coffee breaks that are no longer heavy. Actually, coffee breaks that are brain energizing, that make you more relaxed or make you more energetic, and so the lunches. We had with the coffee breaks a huge success. With the lunches, not so. The very heavy curry still had to be there for the Thai market. But I think it's a journey we have here, and that's definitely something that's going to come.
Right.
And having rooms that are very pollution-free. Air quality is going to be an issue with airborne disease and so on.
And Anthony, regarding domestic medical tourism, is there a big opportunity currently here for hotels?
Yes, David. I think the hotels should be moving into domestic to basically give them as a very good learning skill before the international doors are open. So I would say domestic medical tourism, it is a big opportunity. And basically for hotels, they should not be targeting at the top A's and the high society people. They should be looking people at the mid-range, middle income people to give them an opportunity to experience what lifestyle change could be, what well-being could be, and what medical wellness could be experienced. So I think, yes, medical tourism is tremendously a good start for the domestic market, as we are looking into it as well. We are looking to launch something by the month of September, but we want to make sure that all the aspect of the journey, the personal care has been thought through carefully. So I think, yes, it is.
Dr. Pansak, from your perspective within the medical field, are you seeing a trend of hotels being successful in tapping the domestic medical tourism market? Mike, also, I've got this question, which is impromptu. Why would somebody go to a resort or a hotel for medical treatment instead of going to a hospital?
I don't think they can go to the hotel for medical treatment, but medical treatment and hospitality in hotel can join together hand in hand. And I agree with Anthony that this is the time for everyone in Thailand who are in hospitality and wellness segment to work together to find a prototype. And we work with the domestic market first, until we just know a lot of knowledge how to manage. So when the international tourism come in, we are ready for that one. So for me, I agree that we should start the domestic medical wellness, but we should attack wisely, because we need what we call prioritization. We have to know that the Thai people, what they want to sleep well, they want to be less stressed, they want to be in the active lifestyle and some of the what we call physical fitness. So for the first type of medical wellness should be on that, because people who just want that have enough money to pay for their relaxation and they improve their personal, their vitality. Maybe we did not take care of the people who get very sick and need some of the regeneration at the first glance, but to improve the function of the people who have enough money in the middle income or high income to go to somewhere else that have a connection with the medical specialty, and that can be treated as a medical spa or other, so that they know very well this is personalized.
Okay, great. Our second question comes from Nigel Cornick, Managing Director of Zen Capital here in Thailand. And Nigel asks, in developing a new wellness-centric project, what would be some of the major factors to be taken into consideration in selecting a location, establishing the market, developing offerings, and briefing the design team? Mark.
Yeah. Nigel, thanks for the question. And you, as being a real estate developer, this is no different. In this real estate, it's all about location, and location drives indeed the further design. Together with Wellity, we're working now on various different projects throughout Thailand in different provinces. And every single project is entirely different because of its location. Our first focus was that we were to look at, say, the greater Bangkok area, and anywhere, say, 2.5 to maximum 3 hours drive from Bangkok. So including Hua Hin, Chonburi, and Rayong. And why? Because, as Anthony said before, the domestic market is very important. And we've all learned we need to have a balance between tapping into domestic and tapping into international market. So if we design a wellness and medical wellness within that radius around Bangkok, the offering is completely different, and we call it so-called more of a soft model, meaning that if you tap into the domestic market, you may opt to provide programs that are a bit shorter and are a bit lighter, so maybe 1 or 2 days, and not as heavy as maybe some other programs. So that means that the design and the programs being offered in these type of resorts is somewhat different. To the contrary, we're also working on some island destinations where it's probably less likely for the domestic market to be able to travel to. And there, where we focus more on the international clientele, the program and the design is completely different. It's more hardcore. These are more intensive programs where we cater to international travels that tend to have more of a longer stay, and therefore the treatment, the programs are tailor-made and are bespoke towards that particular location. So that's the interesting part. There is no such thing as a cookie cutter resort wellness. Every single resort has its own clientele and has its own purpose.
Okay, Anthony, you're consulting for investors and stakeholders who want to tap into this market. What happens if a customer says, I want a cookie cutter health and wellness center? How do you approach the customer requirements? And also at the same time, let's address Nigel's points there. Location, how do we get the market, developing offerings, briefing design team, and you've got 90 seconds. Over to you.
David, I tell you, over the last few months, we're getting so much demands on brownfield projects and greenfield projects coming to us. And these are the main thing. And many developers of yesterday, I would call it, developers of yesterday, they would plan something without even thinking of the soft touch, the software of what they want to put in the medical wellness. To me, the answer to Nigel, before anything could code up, you should be looking for a professional people to basically look at the medical wellness component first, to develop that concept, looking at your market demand, looking at where your outreach, your pull factors and your push factor is going to be. Your pull factor is where your demand, and your push factor is where you're going to deliver your programs. Who are you're going to deliver to? Then you would look at the location. Then from there, you would then have to design, then from the program designing, looking at the customer flow and journey. That's where you could then design and work together alongside with your architect and your IT. So I think that's the main approach. And this is many mistakes that we've been seeing over the last years. So I would really urge all developers to look at a professional team to come in to advise you. But please be very mindful that the team that you're looking must be aware and knowledgeable in medical platform, in the whole medical understanding, and hospitality, how it will be integrated. It cannot be one, or you take another 2 consultants and you, with the hotel owners, you're having 3 people. It's going to be a mix. It's going to be a mixed dough. And sometimes you put the wrong dough mixing, that person will not get a gluten-free diet. So the importance is the software, getting the program developed. And especially now, everybody is doing the same thing. So you got to know what's the same thing that should be opt out if the locations are different. What is the need? I'm just giving you another example, David. Everybody is now looking at IVF. Yes. They're going to put IVF in Phuket, IVF in here, and IVF in there. First thing when I asked to my developers, I said, why you? Why must I come to Koh Samui, or why must I come to Phuket for IVF? So we got to ask that question to us. And IVF is a big process. You got to understand. Doesn't mean a doctor who is going to invest in you and tell you, I am the best IVF. I want the IVF into this resort. But as a developer, you got to run your numbers. You got to look at your man counts, your labor. You got to look at your setup costs. So these are all the areas of concern whereby a professional would then be able to advise you.
Okay, good points. Bruno, can I bring you on board from the hotelier perspective? Do you think hotels can go it alone in developing a wellness center? Or, as Anthony is saying, do you need to partner with specialists?
I mean, with everything we just said, this meeting, I think it's absolutely crucial that you have to include specialists.
Yes.
There is so much detail. Hotelier and wellness and medicine have nothing in common. We need the assistance of those people to help us. We can do the marketing, we can do guest journeys, we can do guest experiences. This is what we are good at. And we can do to a certain extent the distribution of it. The entire wellness will not go through the typical hospital distribution sources. This is a completely different culture. It will go through specialists. That it can be tour operators, it can be done through OTAs, it can be through specialized tour operators and GSAs. That's our job. But doing the entire medical programs, it cannot be a hotelier. Also, as we talk, the entire architecture, how something has been built, where Iconica Architecture, US-based company, has actually defined seven dimensions of wellness impacted by the built environment. And if you don't include cultural, ecological, physical, emotional, spiritual, intellectual, and social elements in this sacred space you're going to build, you will fail. I mean, and it's not a matter of how much you spend on it, but this has to be included. The journeys have to be included. And very often we see spas where intimacy is actually is exposed. You don't have it. So we can't do this ourselves.
Great. Thanks,
another thing that will change, if I may have 2 seconds quick, is the guest room. And not just for wellness, also other side. You will have more fitness and meditation equipment in guest rooms. And the entire entertainment industry is actually entering the whole thing. So wellness music, wellness TV, wellness apps, wellness streaming comes into the factor as well. We have learned this during the entire pandemic now. People have been exercising at home. This will go into the guest rooms, and your entertainment system has to be ready for that. So has the lighting, the bedding, and the entire the indoor pollution, air quality again.
Wow, a whole new guest experience is on the horizon.
It's a complete new thing. So don't you think as a traditional hotelier, this is easy. This is very complex, and it needs specialists.
Yeah. Dr. Pansak, from the medical side, what's your view? Do you think that hotels need to partner with you and your colleagues? And are there enough of you to go around for all the hotels in Thailand?
Okay. My strategy is that nothing can be finished without collaboration and connection. No one knows everything. Myself, like I introduced, I am the specialist on the anti-aging and regeneration together with hormone therapy, fertility treatment, sexual health. But if I talk about other wellness, like spiritual wellness, like food wellness, like exercise wellness, like living wellness, I did not know much. I still need to consult my friends who are specialists in that one. But I can be the one who organize everyone to work together. So same, doctor cannot be a developer. Doctor cannot manage hotel, but the hotelier cannot manage the wellness or medical field also. But if we put the best of both of them together, collaboration each other, talk frankly each other, do everything to make the perfect part for everyone. That one can be done. So for the hotelier, if he wants to do medical wellness himself, he will climb a very steep path. But he just find a good specialist who can work together with them and pair very well. The load will be a little bit lossy. So I agree with everyone say that we need collaboration.
Wichit, how have you collaborated? Because you've partnered with KRU Precision Wellness Clinic, which is a whole new guest offering at the Slate. What's the deal? What are you up to?
Yeah, the thing is, first of all, we recognize that wellness is a new trend coming to Thailand even before the COVID. Then it depends on the owner of the hotel, or the hotel operator will view it to what extent of the scope of wellness they'd like to take. It can be as simple as a normal spa, to the meditation, to the nutrition, to physiotherapy and all that. Some of the scope or the extent that you take, it need to have a specialist involved because you cannot know everything properly yourself. But of course, some of them take it very lightly. They just offer something that they know and then they call this as a wellness. So that's why, you know, the word wellness is widely used and very very difficult to understand for the people who don't understand the real meaning of wellness or medical wellness. They won't understand what they get the offer. But one thing that I can see that it depends, I would say that it depends on the level and the extent of the hotel, that to how far they want to go, or they want to set up a kind of a complex. You know, if you are serious to purposely invest in that kind of wellness center, and that will be another story. But if you like to use the existing hotel room, especially now, or hotel facility, especially now, after COVID, I could foresee the number of tourist arrival decrease. Then meaning that there would be the oversupply of hotel room to tempt the owner to convert it to something else. And it all depends on how many percent and what kind of wellness that you like to take. So that is another thing that we have to think. In short, we have to know that what market and what target and to what extent that we want. Then we will involve a proper specialist, a different level of specialist to come and help you. Now, for the in case of the medical wellness, this is very serious that we need to have not only the other specialist professional, also the medical doctor to help and the anti-aging doctor to help. In our case at the Slate, we have partnered with a team of specialized physicians who have interest in the anti-aging and also the wellness program, especially at the resort of the Slate, which is blessing by the very spacious tropical forest gardens and by the national park and by the sea. So these are the location-wise, the sea it fit in with wellness very well. But to what extent that we are going to do that, again, it depends on how we have decided our program. So to address this kind of shortage, you know, or cooperation like Dr. Pansak and the other have mentioned, that I think that, you know, the cooperation is very important because almost every property would like to go into wellness. It deep how high or to what degree that they're gonna do, but the word is we have to cooperate, how to share the resources that is very limited together and to achieve the purpose of the activity. One thing that I can see that, you know, sometimes if you share the resource together, but you are aiming for the same target group of customer, that will be a kind of conflict. But normally people now, they are looking at not so serious wellness program. People who come and stay at each hotel, they would like to have certain level of wellness. So meaning that you are not fighting against the same group of customer, then the cooperation in this field could be happen, including the hospital or some other wellness center that they don't have the hospitality or hotel to support. This one we can also be a partner with. So that is, I think should be the way that we should go. Thank you.
Thank you. Question to Bruno and Anthony. Bruno first. When hotels step into this health and wellness sector and medical, the big L word, liability. And Tobias Fischer from Go Vacation has asked this question. For a tour operator, there are liability issues when packaging health treatments. That also goes for hotels. If hotels getting involved in this health and wellness, where do we stand on the extended liability of our guests? Bruno.
Okay, let me first be a little bit snappy. We have no problem with banana boats in front of and with scooters, and we have never ever looked at the liability of those. And that's okay. We can do that. Also, we have had huge cases with that. Fact is, you go together with a recognized, well-known medical partner like Bangkok, for example, or BDMS. These people have huge insurance costs, and the hotel groups at the hotels have it. I don't see any difference between picking somebody and taking a little bit of blood or putting somebody on a banana boat. That's actually much more dangerous in my opinion.
Okay.
So I think we are making, and all the hotel companies having this issue, this whole liability thing. I want to be blunt. I think it's care. They don't dare to do it. They're afraid to going into this subject, and therefore find an excuse of how not to do it. There is insurance coverage for that, and you have just to make very clear what is a hotel service and what is a hospital service, and then you are out of it. It's very clear.
Great. Anthony, as a developer, obviously owners and investors would ask you, this is a hot topic. What's your reply? You've got 90 seconds.
I like the way Bruno said it. It's true.
Yeah.
You can go on a banana boat, you can go on a horse ride on the beach, and you're never worried. But you're worried about health. That is really ridiculous. Sorry to say. But in terms of my advice is basically when we look at a property, when we want to put in a medical wellness, first, it has to be a legitimate thing. You got to ensure that you're placing a proper medical facilities with a proper medical license. So first and foremost, you got to get that done. If a proper medical license is done, you have no worries because it splits away from the hotel license and the medical license because it sits on two different addresses. That is the law in Thailand, all right? It goes the same for every other country, all right? The other thing is once you have a clinic, you got to have a malpractice insurance on your doctors. Your doctors got to have a malpractice insurance. The liability basically puts on the umbrella of the doctor, but as a medical center, you have a third-party general insurance to cover your nursing staff, your pharmaceutical, everything. So these are all covered. So insurance is a game there that basically covers the area, just like in hotel. You have a third-party insurance to cover fire, theft, people dying in your hotel. If someone don't wake up, it's all covered. So I think that's something need not to be worried about. It can be managed. There's guideline and there's procedures. So Don't worry, go on a banana boat.
Okay, sorry, Bruno.
Yeah, may I add something which is interesting? I had this conversation a few times. For the last, since we exist, we have allowed doctors to come to our hotels if somebody is sick. We have never asked about insurance cover there, but every hotel has a doctor that visits the hotel if there is a problem with a guest. So as I said, if it's a licensed doctor, you do it fine. There's no issue. There's insurance that covers it.
Okay.
So we should not be too much worried about that.
Okay. At the same time, I think we're talking about insurance and insurance companies. One of the questions was, do insurance companies provide a distribution channel for wellness tourism? Dr. Pansak. So can we get business from insurance companies?
So it depends on what you want from insurance company. You want insurance company to pay for the wellness treatment, or you want the insurance company to insure anything that happens when you come for wellness tourism.
Okay, so we want customers. As hotels, we want customers if we've got a facility. How can we tap in, or is there an opportunity to tap in and partner with insurance companies?
Yes, definitely, because I just give opinion to some of the what we call insurance company in Thailand and international. They want to extend their crime because now they take only on the medical part, but they want on the wellness part because they know that people who just seek the wellness treatment, they are well to do. They don't want to get sick and they don't want to get any injury, something like that. And they are willing to pay premium insure money, that one. So insurance now, some pay for wellness treatment already. And for the hotel, you can pair the program of the wellness staying in the hotel together with the hospital, because hospital may take care on the disease treatment, on the wellness treatment. But before that and after that, a hotel can take part for them to stay, because that's cheaper than stay in the hospital for the people who are well-to-do. So it depends on the package. It depends on the thing that you create, so that you can lure the insurance to come, because insurance are looking for more and more clientele also.
Okay, great. One last question, because the time's running out.
Can I just in here
okay.
about insurance? Can I just in here about insurance? Insurance are all governance. So basically, when insurance come in for preventive, it doesn't cover when the hotel doesn't have a clinic license. So basically, the hotel got to have a clinic license before the insurance company could come in.
Okay.
Then basically, the insurance would cover all the basic fundamental of conventional medicine, but insurance is looking into preventive cares as well and well-being. Yes, it is.
Great. Last question, and this is from Yves van Kerrybroek, Managing Director of Asian Trails. Quite an interesting one, this. Medical marijuana use has been legalized in Thailand since 2019. What opportunities do you see to leverage this industry into health and wellness, tourism products and services? Anthony.
Oh, this is tremendously a very good thing to have. Because when you're talking about marijuana CBD, it basically helps people with pain, sleep issue. And also these are the main two things that people would use it in terms of a preventive healthcare, and basically as well as anti-aging as well. So I think, yes, CBD would be a very good medicine care in terms of alternative and preventive care into this new phase of wellness medicine.
Very good, thank you. That actually brings us to the 1 hour, and I would like to thank our panelists for a great presentation there and discussion. Apologies that Andrew couldn't join us, but we'll get him on the next eTalk. And I would like to thank the following organizations for their help and support, which is TICA, Thailand Incentive Convention Association, who asked their members to join. TAT, who've been doing great work in promoting Thailand as a health and wellness destination. TSET for building in wellness and promoting Thailand for wellness mice. The Slate Wichit, who I'm working closely with, and we had the idea for this webinar. Asia Pacific Spa and Wellness Coalition with Andrew, KRU Precision Wellness Clinic, the Movenpick BDMS Wellness Resort Bangkok, Bruno, keep leading the way, VitalIfe with Dr. Pansak, and Wellity Trend Watch. If you haven't watched the video episodes, you need to tune in to Mark Vangertrop and Anthony Jude. And we do have our second eTalk on Wednesday, the 5th of May, where I'm going to invite some of our panelists back because there's so much more to discuss and we'll have a bigger audience. For those that want to view this again, the webinar and eTalk will be published on YouTube. And with that, again, I'd like to thank the panelists. I'd like to thank the participants for joining us today. And I'm going to end the session now. So thank you so much. And everybody take care and have a healthy week ahead. Thank you.